So, you're ready to try out the XCOM Enemy Unknown multiplayer, are you? Well, the single-player campaign prepares you for using the human soldiers at your disposal, but you may not be sure what those alien units are really capable of. Before you spend points on units you don't know a whole lot about, let's take a look at the Aliens and Enemy Unknown multiplayer and exactly what they're capable of. We'll start with the sectoid, the alien easiest to understand. Its plasma pistol isn't much of a powerhouse, but the Mind Merge can be deadly. Using Mind Merge on a friendly increases its health by 1 and increases its chances of a critical hit. Just be careful. Should the user of Mind Merge be killed, the target is snuffed out as well. The sectoid has a more powerful counterpart, the sectoid commander. First up is Mind Fray, which does a little damage and also does penalties to aim, will, and mobility. The debuff lasts for 2 turns. Greater Mind Merge is good for when you have a number of lesser sectoids on the battlefield because it gives nearby members of the same species the usual Mind Merge buff. Psi Panic causes an enemy to panic on the next turn, and that can be useful because a panicking soldier can move somewhere on her own and even shoot a friendly. And finally, Mind Control. If you land the attack successfully, you gain control of an enemy unit for 3 turns. That makes the sectoid commander incredibly powerful if you use it right. But none of the psi abilities will do you any good if your opponent has an all-robot team. Let's look at the Thin Man, which is extremely mobile. His leap ability can be helpful if you want to get to higher elevation and take a good shot. But the Thin Man's Poison Cloud is his most effective skill. You have to target an enemy, but the cloud of poison affects the entire area. On the ground, you can get a lot of power out of your Mutants, which come in 3 varieties. First up is the standard Mutant with its plasma rifle and powerful alien grenade. If the enemy has several of these, do not clump your units together. In addition, the Mutant has a great ability called Blood Call that buffs up nearby Mutants for a couple of turns. The Mutant can also lay down suppressive fire, which lowers the target's chances of hitting. It also means that if the target moves, the Mutant gets to take a free shot, like so. Also, bear in mind that Mutants don't like getting shot. If a Mutant is wounded, he might intimidate nearby soldiers, which causes them to panic. And a panicked enemy is a vulnerable one. The Mutant comes in an elite flavor that is exceptionally hardy and can throw its grenades over really long distances. It also comes in Berserker form. The Berserker has a lot of health, but no gun, so it has to come in real close for a melee kill. Using Bull Rush, it can also charge through walls and destroy a soldier unlucky enough to be in the way. Just be careful. If a Berserker is injured, it might be overcome with Bloodlust and charge the soldier that wounded it. That can be good, of course, but if local soldiers are on Overwatch, the charging Berserker could take multiple hits. Speaking of melee attacks, don't forget about the Chrisll. Not only can this fast-moving creature mean instant death, but it also implants enemies it kills with an egg that turns the corpse into a zombie that you then get to control. The zombie has a simple melee attack, but it's one more unit your opponent has to worry about on the battlefield. Also, bear in mind that Chrisll attacks poison its victim. Let's leave the ground and get into the air. When they are open, cyber discs are a powerful force with their standard weapon and powerful grenades. When closed, they are extremely hardy and can perform the Death Blossom technique. Death Blossom is best used when multiple enemy units are close together. Just float in and release the attack, which injures any units in its small range. But if you take a cyber disc onto the battlefield, you'll probably want a drone as well. Drones are good for healing robotic units like the cyber discs. They can also be used as sacrificial pawns by moving them next to a group of enemies and detonating. Let's now take a look at floaters and their more powerful versions, the heavy floaters. A floater's most potent ability is launch, which has it flying into the air and landing anywhere on the map you want. That's useful for hit and run tactics and early scouting. Floaters have standard and flight stances, and when in flight mode, they reduce the enemy's chances of landing their shots by 20. The heavy floater can do all this and is also more resilient. They can also throw alien grenades from a good distance away from their target. Grenades are powerful, of course, but nothing is more powerful on the battlefield than the highly expensive ethereal. The ethereal enters the battlefield with 5 incredibly powerful skills, starting with Silence, which fires a bolt of energy right at the victim. We've seen Mind Control and Mind Fray in other units, and they work much the same way here. But the ethereal comes with an additional ability that can make mincemeat of the opposition: Rift. Rift does a lot of damage in the target region, and it makes the ethereal one of the most fearsome foes you can encounter. And if you damage an ethereal, the alien can heal itself using Psi Drain by usurping health from an ally. So, there you have it. A quick look at the alien units, multiplayer XCOM, Enemy Unknown. How have you used these units in battle? What crazy ideas have you had that worked famously or failed miserably? Let us know in the comments below.